I understand that the market is completely emotional and that individual investors are completely emotional. And Dr. Bonanno, when we can control our emotions and make decisions and follow our trade plans, regardless of what's happening around us, we get the upper hand. And so a lot of folks, disregard how much their emotions can change their decisions or can, guide their decisions rather than just sticking to the plan that we made when emotions were cool. So Dr. Bonanno is a way, and he's going to talk to us about, what goes on in our heads and how we can be better controlled. So I'm really excited to talk to him.
All right. Without further ado, Dr. Bonanno, thank you for joining us on the AJ Brown Show. Good morning. Happy holidays.
Hey, good morning. Yeah, thanks to you and thanks for having me.
All right, doctor. So how did you go from being I guess traditional psychologist to finding, an area with traders and investors and finding an interest and even some tricks to help them along the way?
Yeah, thanks. So, my wife's uncle is a trader, and he actually saw me for some sessions, and he was telling me about the psychology of trading, and I think it's totally fascinating. So, I'm not a trader myself, but when I was reading about like the ideal mindset, the thing that just kept sticking out for me is that knowing what the ideal mindset is and actually having it are two entirely different things. So, and that has come up for me in my life and in my work as well, because like I'm kind of like a math guy and maybe on the spectrum or something, and I'm very logical. And I was always obsessed with why do smart people do stupid things? Like, why was I having like thoughts that weren't really good for me or emotions that weren't great? And I mean, like with my clients too, like we would both agree that they should like get out of a bad relationship, for example, and then they wouldn't be able to do it. Or one time I had a therapist say to me, like, the past is in the past, so it shouldn't be affecting you anymore. It doesn't make sense. And I'm like, yeah, no shit. What am I still doing here on your couch? So that's what like I come in. I created disciplinedownloads.com, which is really like a series of online sessions, where it's automatic and it's like hypnosis in that it really interfaces with the subconscious part of the brain. But it's not hypnosis. You don't have to go into a trance or anything like that. You're awake and alert the whole time. But what it really does is like you were saying, we have a plan, and then when it gets hot, then what happens is our adrenaline takes over. So I'd like to just give you a little bit of like just talk for 1 minute, and then love to get into the conversation with you guys. But what I have done is I created a model of the understanding of how the brain works. And I used to be a worked only with PTSD people, but it totally applies to traders as well. So, I finally did figure out the answer to why do smart people do stupid things. And what's going on is that there's really two different brains at work at the same time. And so I call one of them the robot and one of them the cat. So the robot is your logical part of your brain, and it makes sense, and it's makes decisions and all that. But that's not who we are. And the cat is the who we are as a person. It's our creativity, it's our wisdom, it's our personality, it's our emotions. And I call it a cat because cats are a pain in the ass, so you can't get them to do what you want. So if you could picture like a robot riding on top of a cat like a horse, pulling the reins, the robot can influence the cat. Like if you're telling yourself, I'm going to stay cool, I'm not going to have FOMO, and I'm just going to like wait till the perfect time. You tell yourself that, but then your emotions take over. And so what happens is your fight or flight system, your adrenaline comes in, and the cat is just way more powerful than the robot. So we like to tell ourselves that we're logical and that all we have to do is try really hard to be logical, but that's not good enough. And I was like kind of excited as I was researching trading psychology, because everybody was kind of saying the same thing. You should have, this is what the ideal mindset is, but then they don't tell you how to have it. So like, just meditating or trying super hard isn't really going to cut it. And what I propose is that adrenaline is the biggest enemy of any trader. And it's not just fear, but also excitement. Like if you're overconfident, And so as soon as your adrenaline kicks in to a significant degree, your logical brain is supposed to be going offline, because it's all, you're supposed to be acting or reacting. And so even though we like to feel like we're in control, we're actually less in control than we think. And the best way to fix this problem is to interface directly with the subconscious brain. So it's my method is actually called de-adrenalization, and I've been using that with PTSD people. And then I realized, oh my God, this is the absolute perfect thing for traders. So what it really does is it helps you to dial down your own nervous system in a way that's like really painless and quick and direct. And it's just better than anything else when it comes to regulating your emotions and to treat the problem at the root. Does that make sense?
I have a question.
Dr.
Do
Dave,
you and
question.
Go ahead, AJ.
Absolutely.
No, it's on.
Go
Go
ahead,
ahead,
Sip.
AJ. I think we're having a little bit of a delay, but doctor, my question was, uh, day traders versus more long-term traders. I feel as if maybe the adrenaline is a little bit thicker for those that are sitting in the screen and clicking away versus AJ's approach, which I think he naturally tries to remove the adrenaline in his trading style because he doesn't go in when everybody's running around. His is very logic oriented. So do you see a difference in the day traders versus mid longer term investors?
Oh yeah, absolutely. Yeah, that sounds really like a good approach, AJ, to minimize the emotion factor right there. But yeah, when you're day trading, I mean, you're making decisions like, you have to go with your gut. And you're like if you're in the woods and you come across a bear, you're not going to make a pro and con list of all the different options that you have, and you just don't have any time for that. So it's really kind of a question of processing speed. And if you can be dialed in emotionally, then yeah, then that's when you go with your gut as a day trader. You just make that decision, and then you don't have to keep second guessing it. So yeah, there's a big difference there.
So one of the things I have found, Dr. David, is that, you know, folks do not want to admit that the robot is not in control, that the robot is driving the cat. But at the same time, you know, when I look at my process, which is do things end of day after the markets close, after all these external stimuli are out of the way, make your decisions and then hard code it into, an automatic trader the next day. When I find folks that aren't finding success with that method, it's usually because they don't make the decisions end of day. They fall back to thinking that the robot is in control, and they wind up, entering into the trading session when there's all this external stimuli, and they start making these emotional decisions. So I guess my question to you is, somebody has to admit first that the robot isn't in control. How hard is it to, find somebody who is open to the idea of that, they need to be disciplined, that they can't do it, right? That's a big ego trip, right? How do you do that? How do you approach that particular decision that somebody actually does need some coaching on how to tame the cat rather than, thinking that they can do it themselves?
Yeah, that's an awesome question. Um, and as a matter of fact, like with the PTSD people, they could talk about their problems all day. And I've noticed that with traders, often like they'll schedule a phone call with me, and then they'll tell me all the stuff they're doing good, and I'm like, well, why are you talking to me? So I mean, it is good that people do at least say that psychology is super important, and I think like from there they don't quite know what to do. I believe that people automatically choose certainty over accuracy all the time. So like in our life, we have to believe that we are in control and that we're safe or whatever, and we lie to ourselves all the time, but it's subconscious. So when you're asking somebody to be aware of their subconscious motivation, and of course, like, keeping a trade journal is a great idea, but it's hard for you to be fully aware of all your subconscious um, inner workings because by definition, it's not conscious. You know what I mean? So
Right.
I think like what one thing I am really impressed with when it comes to traders is like their wife or their husband or their kids or whoever will be begging them to get help, to be a better person, to change their ways, and that won't do it. But when it comes to trading, they'll do anything to be the best trader that they can be. So I mean, yeah, it's that's what you have to do. I think we just have to admit, as scary as it is, from moment to moment we are not as much in control as we think we are, and we are less of a stable character than we think we are because the situation dictates what we do much more than anything else.
Well, and I've got to throw in there that I almost hypothesize that the traders that actually get past that barrier and say, "Hey, I need to see you, Dr. David," because, the ones you're seeing that you say are the most dedicated really truly are the most dedicated because what, I see is that sometimes that, or many times, that ego wins out and they just decide to stop trying to trade and go back to working 60-hour a week salaried positions to live their life instead of continuing forward becoming an investor. I see a huge dropout rate because people would rather just quit instead of going to you and getting some of the tools that you need to tame that psychological cat and be successful. And I see that that's the piece. That's the piece that they need to do is just tame the psychological cat. And it's such an easy, literally a phone call to somebody like you to give people those tools. But, admitting that that's what you need, I don't know if it's a stigma or what, but admitting that that's what you need, people would rather just give up. And so I'm almost like, hey, it's as easy as just asking for the right help on how to tame the cat. And if people knew that they could just, go to you for a session or two, or maybe, a couple more sessions, and they'd be able to cross that uncrossable barrier and make sense out of investing, I mean, I think that that would be a no-brainer, but I just want people to be open to that idea because that's usually just what I've seen is the difference between, not making it work and making it work is taming I love that metaphor of the robot driving the cat, taming that cat.
Right on. And what's beautiful about my program is it's not live with a therapist, it's not live with me. It's like an app. So you're actually watching a video, and there's a I take people through different exercises, and there's a ball that moves across the screen, and that's how it helps you to like really get into where you need to be. If you go to the website, there's a free session because I really do want people to try it. I think it's really impossible to know what it's all about unless you try it. And so it comes with all the conveniences of an app. You don't have to make an appointment with me or somebody else, and you don't have to admit to anybody besides yourself that you have a problem. You can do it at anywhere at any time. And it just happens to be really convenient. I created an app that we ran the numbers. We had a statistician do this. It was more effective for PTSD than a live therapist. So, I mean, I know that this is really effective for any problem, and definitely for the ones that traders face, not to minimize what they go through, but it just never really took off with the PTSD thing. And I realized that this is the perfect way to use it. So yeah, you don't have to tell anybody that there's anything wrong with you. Just check out the website and try the free session and then see what you think.
And there's a variety of
Well, that's cool
tools
because,
in the
you know,
ecosphere. And AJ, you and the trading trader community are one, right? So it's a community, it's more technical based, and it seems as if Dr. Bonanno has created a nice supplementary psychological tool because there's so many facets involved. And for me, this is the first that I've seen of something like this, Doctor. So congratulations on taking the lead here. I'm sure that this will be a very popular episode for us. But AJ, you did have a thought, and I cut you off there. I think because of the lag. What did you want to add there?
no, I just wanted to say that this was the fact that you created this app that, people can go and do this on their own, not need to do any sort of like that. I really celebrate you for taking this approach and making it so that folks can get this technology. It's almost like a technology that you developed. Take this technology and make it work for them. So I'm kind of stoked. I really think that this is like cutting edge stuff that you've created, which is why I wanted to have you as a guest on the AJ Brown show. Because I think all of my viewers can totally benefit by just checking out some of the free stuff that you've got on your web portal, never having to like, it's not traditional, therapy or talking about your problems. And the
Right.
fact that you came from it originally for a PTSD thing, but then realized it works, whether it's a fear of loss or it's a fear of missing out on investments, whether you get too excited and become overconfident or whether you're always playing it safe, the same tools work, right? And so it's really
Yes.
neat that you have created this technology. And you got to tell us, I know that we put together something special for the viewers of our show, right?
We did, absolutely, yeah. So, for the listeners of this show, they can buy one core, like it's a session, and then you get a free session and the ebook for free as well. So there's a promo code that we can give you, and I'm actually having a little bit of technical issues, which is a little embarrassing, but we'll have it all worked out. And of course, if you ever have any trouble, there's my email address right there. But yeah, I would love for people to just try it. See, like one of the problems I had with the PTSD population is it's so new and unconventional. And it doesn't quite make sense at face value. So, I mean, I've had incredible results with traumas or helping people to get over phobias or any type of fear. And then I can tell them all about it. And then they'll say, like, oh, well, I think I'm just going to use my copay and my insurance and talk to somebody for the next 7 years every week. And I mean, it has been very frustrating. That's why I like working with traders, because if they think that it'll work, they will do it. So yeah, there's also
Yeah.
a quiz that people can check out to see, maybe what kind of work they might need or areas of improvement for their mindset. And then yeah, there's the ebook, which I think will explain everything very well.
So yeah, guys, the and gals and people who are checking out our show, viewers, the code is AJ Brown. It's all capitals, and it's all one word. There's no periods or anything like that. It's AJBROWN. And when you get to his website, peruse around. Check out all the freebies and the stuff like that. And if you want to take advantage of that special bundle that we have here today, just put that into the promo code of the shopping cart, AJ Brown. I think we just put it into the chat. And you'll get all the benefits of being a viewer of today's show.
And I'm sure if any of the guests mention that they saw you on the AJ Brown show, Dave, you'll take care of them. You know where they came from. Love. Personally, I think there's a lot to this. I'm going to go ahead and check it out. We're already getting some good feedback from some of the audience. Real quick, Anita says, I think you guys have hit the nail on the head. However, I feel there are variables. My issue is extreme fear of loss. I'm sure extreme fear of loss. Greed is one that personally affects me. But it seems as if you have a good plan and an approach. And anyone that's interested in learning more, the links are in the chat. Head on over there, learn more about the course, and if they have any other questions, Doctor, they could reach out to you. Yeah,
Absolutely.
all right. Well, we appreciate you.
And I gotta say, Sip, guys, I've been checking out the technology, and it's pretty rad. It's just a few minutes on your own, watching the dot go by, checking. Try it. Try it.
All right, Doctor. Thank you for taking some time today out of the holiday schedule. We hope that you enjoy the rest of your Friday. We hope that you enjoy your Christmas, your New Year, and all the best of luck in helping guide our trading community and in getting the right mindset to succeed in the new year. So once again, thank you very much. We truly do appreciate it.
Oh, thank you guys. This has been really fun. Thanks.